So I'm Matt, and I serve growing Airbnb hosts. I help them with their profitability, with their occupancy levels, and ultimately I teach them how to work less and earn more. So when I met Chris, I was busting my ass off with 5-day workshops. Me and my team were going gangbusters, 40, 60, 70-hour weeks trying to get these live workshops going. We were investing $20,000, $30,000 in Facebook ads, not always seeing a full return on those Facebook ads. And it was just unsustainable. I had learned the process from some other coaches in the industry before. They claimed it worked, and yeah, it worked to some degree, but it was just so much work for such a varied return. The other big problem we had is we never knew how well our next launch was going to go. Would Facebook shut our ads down? Would we have registrations? So like we didn't have continuity or like a really solid deal flow or funnel. We just every time was like, okay, let's turn on the ads. Let's see how many people we get. Sometimes we got lots of people, sometimes we didn't. And so I was just burnt out, frustrated, super pissed at Facebook for turning off my ads, which they've done multiple times. And then I met this guy, Chris, and he's like, you got to do a mastermind. And I'm like, mastermind? I don't even know what a mastermind is. And lo and behold, I've learned so many things from Chris, like how to be a better coach, which wasn't even part of the deal. The deal was how to do masterminds. And now I'm learning how to be a better coach, how to get my students better results. And then you add in all of the nuts and bolts, we'll call it, of, yeah, I am working less. We are not spending money on Facebook. We are being deliberate about who we invite into our world. And I've also built the confidence to sell a high ticket mastermind. I think the third thing out of my mouth when I met Chris was, nobody in my niche is going to pay $25,000 or $50,000 to learn what I'm going to teach them. So when I first met Chris and he's like, you need to join this mastermind, we need you in this group, and it's this much, I was like, no, I'm not paying this much. There's no way this is worth it. I've worked with people in the past. I did not see the ROI. But there was just something I kept thinking about, well, what could be, and would this really be my path to working less? And working less is one thing. It's also about working with clients or students who actually want to do the work, instead of us, and like me and my coaches, pushing people through, you got to do this, you got to do that. Now I have high caliber people who are keen and ready to go. And I think that comes from a higher price point. And so, yeah, when I met Chris, I was like, who is this guy? I don't know him. And I can honestly say that now I know him very well. He is a man of integrity, a man of his word, a strong community member in his own community, which, doesn't really matter from an online coach. I don't live in his community, but just to talk about kind of the stand-up sort of guy that Chris is. So I would say I was not an easy close for Chris. I sat on the fence for, I don't even know, a few months, I think. I knew, well, I didn't know. I wasn't sure. So I knew that Chris knew what I wanted to do. I just wasn't sure he was the one to get me there. I was skeptical of, he didn't have a flashy website with all of the things listed out. And he had a Facebook group, but he wasn't I wasn't sure if he was legit. Chris's name never came up as one of the big players in the industry. He's not Amy Porterfield. He's not Russell Brunson, Pat Flynn. And so I'm like, but then at the same time, when you work with those people, you're just one of 10,000 people in their current cohort. Would you actually get to work with them? And here's this guy, Chris. He's, we're talking one-on-one. He's listening. He seems to get me. And honestly, looking back on it, I can't even believe I waited this long. I wished I would have started the second when I first met him, because it would have saved us a ton of work and hustle to make way less money.